Let's start off. The only thing really that I have is the car pedestrian accident from last night, and I don't have a whole lot of updates, but that was about 10:15 last night. We had a car that was going south on Minnesota Avenue, and when the car was approaching 5th Street, there was a man that stepped off the curb into the street and was struck by the car. We're still working on identifying the pedestrian. He was taken to the hospital with some life-threatening injuries. He's still in the hospital today. It sounds like we're getting close to identifying him. Think we know who he is, but obviously still some more work, and we believe he's in his 70s. The driver is a 21-year-old woman. At least on her end, didn't appear there was any drugs or alcohol that were a factor in this. Speed didn't appear to be a factor either, so they're still working on this, but really that's all the information we have.
There's been no citations?
I don't... The driver was issued a couple of citations for careless driving and no insurance, but I don't know why the careless driving citation was issued. Yeah, that doesn't say anything in the accident report, so yeah, I guess I can't speak to that. So there were a couple of citations that were issued. The pedestrian hasn't been issued any citations or anything, so.
Was there injuries for the people in the car?
No, and I think it was just,
One,
I think it was just one person. I think we just had one person that was in the car. That's all I'm seeing on here.
you said her age, right?
21, yep, from Sioux Falls.
Who made the contact to the police or the ambulance?
Somebody else.
Somebody else?
Yeah, so let me see if this says. I'm guessing it was probably a witness to that, but let me see if this says it. A lot of the time it doesn't. Yeah, there's a couple of people that called 911 when it happened, so I'm guessing there's a few witnesses that saw it take place.
And then since she was cited for reckless driving, are we allowed to have her name?
No, it was careless driving was the citation. I'm not going to give her name out with that at this point.
I was out there last night, and I put on the scanner when that occurred, the injury accident, they said, will you connect that with another report that they filed earlier? Is there any connection, or? It's only the one thing for this vehicle, I think, or person, I don't know, we're hitting with hard questions, but sometimes.
Yeah, that's pretty.
We had a producer, I'll just, thought it was connected to a robbery. That might have occurred earlier. But scanners and news people are sometimes double
Let me.
Was she the owner of the vehicle?
That I can tell you. Somewhere it says here. I don't see anything tied to that license plate.
Could have been something else. That,
So, yeah.
okay.
The thing that initially popped in my head is sometimes they make, because they'll get different people call, and so you have different dispatchers, and then they'll generate different reports for that, and so they link them together. That was my first, but it could be something else.
Especially if there was two different 911 calls, and maybe one said it was on 5th and Mann, and one said it was on 4th and Mann, and, you know.
Right. So the boy, this isn't giving me a whole lot here. The accident report says the driver is not the owner, but there's no listing of who the owner is. So that's why I was just trying to see if I could figure that out quick. Yeah, it doesn't say. I'm not sure why that's left blank, but
I don't think I have anything more unless you see anything else in there that's.
I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who the owner is. It says that the driver is not the owner, but it doesn't say who the owner is. So
Not unusual.
yeah. Sorry, I don't have a lot of answers for that stuff. Any other questions on that? So on the log, we really don't have anything to speak of. The arson, that was a car that was found on fire. It was kind of another precautionary report. I don't know that the fire inspectors necessarily saw anything suspicious with that, but that's kind of a precautionary report, I guess. The assault was a simple assault. Burglaries, we had a few apartments that were entered, a storage unit and a garage. The disorderlies, a few trespassings, a couple people in traffic, but nothing big from those. The embezzlement was a car that was loaned out. The family dispute and offenses ended up being all reports, nothing big from those. Same thing with frauds, checks, ID thefts. The larcenies, a few shopliftings in there. Otherwise, we had a couple of homes that were entered. Narcotics, some marijuana and meth, no big quantities. The sex offenses, 2 of those were sex offenders that didn't change their address. The other was a sex offender, or just a report on a sex offense. Simple assaults were just simple assaults, and the vandalisms, we had a few cars that were damaged, air conditioning unit that was damaged, the video lottery machine. Nothing. The last one was a house that was shot. Somebody believed that they didn't have a time frame, but sometime over the last day they thought they found a hole and believe it was a bullet hole. So they're not sure what exactly took place. That was in the 4500 block of southeastern. I stumble over that. And that's really all I have, unless you guys have anything else. Nothing? Okay, thanks.